Good morning, evening, family. I'm your friendly announcer. And I've got some serious news to pass on to everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be on the diaspora. How are you? Glad to have you here in the mental house with me, your host, Khadijah. Today I got a real good mental health article that I'm going to share with you guys. Now, I'm sure that a lot of people of color already know this, okay? And if y'all want to, you can just take a break and, be like, why is she going to talk about some shit that I already know? Okay, so I'm going to say you can dismiss yourself right now if you don't. But for the Caucasian people, non-white, for the non-people of color, I should say, that are out there, I think this article was written by Sean Ratcliffe, and he's a Caucasian, and he wants to share this article with us. So I'm going to read it, and I want y'all to deal with this. Experts say that discriminatory attitudes like those from Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump are unhealthy for those who harbor them as well as those who are subjected to them. Okay? Racism has a very, very real health consequence. And not just for the people targeted by it. It turns out that even racists pay a price for their intolerance. A recent study in the American Journal of Public Health found that all people, regardless of race, living in communities with high levels of racial prejudice were more likely to die young than people living in more tolerant places. Okay? And the higher mortality wasn't just attributable to violence or poverty. Racial prejudice affects community health significantly, even after controlling for individual and community level socioeconomic status, such as poverty, level of education, and racial composition, study author Gian Lee of the University of Pennsylvania told Healthline. The study doesn't prove that racial prejudice causes premature death, but researchers suggest that racism can weaken a community's social resources or social capital. For example, racial tensions may limit a community's ability to come together and advocate for policies and services that promote health. Low levels of prejudice are associated with greater trust and diminished threat at the neighborhood level, Lee said, while high levels of prejudice likely discourage residents from developing social capital with their neighbors, given reduced levels of trust and mutual reciprocity. Other researchers have found that when prejudiced people interact with members of other ethnic groups, the level of stress hormone and cortisol rises in their blood. Cortisol is part of the body's fight or flight response to perceived threats. So when they just look at your ass, they done go into a damn frenzy from the inside out. Oh my God. Harboring racist feelings in a multicultural society causes stress daily. Elizabeth Page Gould, PhD, a professor of psychology at the University of Toronto, wrote in an essay for the Greater Good of Science Center in Berkeley, California. This kind of stress can lead to chronic problems like cancer, hypertension, and type 2 diabetes. Social attitudes connect to health. With the country embroiled in public debate about race, religion, and immigration, the data suggests that our current state of social turmoil literally could be killing us. Donald Trump's campaign for the Republican nomination has dominated the media coverage, in large part because of the anti-immigrant rhetoric. After the mass shooting in San Bernardino on December 2nd by a couple reportedly loyal to Islamic extremists, Trump purported banning all Muslims from entering the United States. Trump's critics say that this xenophobia attitude, like his derogatory comments about Mexican immigrants, creates an atmosphere of hatred and bigotry. But it does seem to be a popular proposal, at least in some quarters. A Bloomberg Politics poll earlier this week found that almost 2/3 of likely Republican primary voters were in favor of Trump's Muslim ban. We believe these numbers are made up of some people who are truly expressing religious bigotry and others who are fearful about terrorism and are willing to do anything they think might make us feel safer. Let me read that line again. We believe these numbers are made up by some people who are truly expressing religious bigotry and others who are fearful about terrorism and are willing to do anything they think might make us safer. Now, that is so damn crazy in terms of the Muslim ban. That is just so insane, because if that's the case, then all the Christians are terrorists and the whole country is founded on terrorists, and the first black people that were terrorized from Africa on the good ship Jesus, then we should ban all Christians, and Christianity should be a banned religion. Timothy McVeigh blew up that building in Oklahoma and killed all those kids and people, and nobody is condemning Christianity. Hitler was a Christian. So, we can't continue to pick and choose this bull crap. And for people that say stuff like, Muslims should be banned from the country. What about Muslims like Muhammad Ali or Louis Farrakhan or my family of origin, for instance? I'm a Muslim. I'm not practicing. I don't practice any religion, but I come from a family of Muslims. Thus, you have Khadijah Anwar. Okay? So you banning my ass too, but I was born in America. So all that's really crazy, and if you start trying to even talk about banning people because of religious beliefs, it's really crazy. I saw a video where a lady pulled up alongside of the road and she accosted 2 Puerto Rican individuals and started calling them terrorists. Told them to go back to the Taliban and all this kind of craziness. So the atmosphere and the climate in America is not very good. And it's so racist and prejudiced. It's like we're going back. That's why I love Brother Tim Wise, because he is one of the wisest white men on the planet. At least he likes to debunk everything as white that 1% try to push on the rest of us with this race construct. We really have to understand that those of us who are black and those of us who are white and not part of the 1%, we have way more in common than that 1% that own 40% of all America's wealth. And we need to link arms. Link arms. Okay? And stop believing the hype, because it's bad for our health. It's bad. Anytime a black man has to walk out the door and think about, is this gonna be his last trip to the freaking store? That's stressful. And anytime a white person that's a undercover Klansman or a white supremacist come into the presence of a black man, all his cortisol is being released, and he's just going crazy, and because he's crazy, then That's a health issue. So we really got to do something about this race situation here in America because it's so damn crazy. And Donald Trump, with his crazy self, is not doing anything to help the situation. He's just making it worse. So all I ask is that people be free-minded, continue to be intelligent, okay, and don't believe the hype, okay. Don't believe the hype. This shit is bad for our health, and so we have to figure out a way to debunk some of this madness, especially as black folk. We the target group of all this bullshit. But now the people that are perpetuating it against us and have to even be in an environment with it are freaking out as well. So we're going to walk around, we just all crazy and wound up like some rock'em sock'em robots. Okay? Now we have to calm down. We have to calm down. Racism and prejudices, prejudice, like I said, I'm not even going to bring that in it because prejudice is something that can be overcame very easily. And it's a very big difference, again, between racism and prejudice. Everybody is prejudiced to a degree, and once you get a chance to spend some time with that person or whatever, even if you're prejudiced against fat and skinny or fat or, rich or poor, whatever. Sometimes there are prejudices that can be overcome when you're in a scenario. Again, but racism is a whole different animal, and too much of it, as we can clearly see, is not good for our health. Okay, so let's knock it off. Let's knock it off, and be the best human being that you can be. Want for your brother what you want for yourself. Want for your sister what you want for yourself. And once we can do that, we'll make this a better planet. It'll be a better environment, right? Okay, because remember, the force of evil plans to make you its possession, and it will if we let it destroy everybody. Can't let it do that. So that's the end of my commentary for today. And thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening. I'm glad to have you here in the mental house. So, like what you heard, subscribe, like, and I will see you next time in the mental house. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.